Hello there, it's Simone. I'm so glad you're here today, and I can't believe that I have so much to say and share with you that I am back on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, day 5 for my mini Vlogtoberish series. Um, Maybe I'm going to finish this month. Who knows? I'm just finished up art club at my son's middle school. It is a weekly meeting on Zoom because we're still social distancing, where we get together. Not very many students. I was so overwhelmed by the initial interest, which was 37 children, teenagers, middle schoolers, but now there is 5, which is okay. I can start small. I have never led an art club. Um, Sometimes I feel like an imposter because I am definitely not someone who is a realistic artist. I am not, I can't really draw. I can, but it's hard and it definitely never looks the way I imagined it. So we started off last week, and I decided that I would encourage them to try making Zentangles. And so I provided this template so that we could create like a library of Zentangle possibilities, and then move on from there and create one of those pieces. Well, so they weren't too impressed. So I'm giving them the options to either do the same as I do, and participate and do the same things, or just come to the club and be a part of a group where people who enjoy art are there, and maybe there's conversations happening outside of the school scenario. Because what I realized after watching my kids go to distance learning and do distance learning for the past, almost 6 months with a summer break in between, is that even though the teacher is talking and there is some kind of interaction, you see the other children on the screen, you don't really talk about things. It's either relevant to the subject, or your teacher asks you a specific question, even if it's like, let's get to know each other, so what's your favorite movie? But other than that, you don't get to chat to other people. And so I decided that, heck, even if I'm not an artist, I can provide that platform for them, and I hope they will get out of their there's one person who's really very outgoing. She is definitely an extrovert, with 4 others who are very silent. But it's okay. I mean, if the others provide the audience, and hopefully they will like defreeze, get more active. And yeah, if this is a platform where they go every Wednesday, we chat, we create something and fill our soul, even if it's not what I provide, then I'm super happy about that fact, and I hope they take something out of it. Yeah, so what did I want to say? Yes, we are going to move on next week to something else. We are going to work on the prompts from James Luke Burke. He shared a prompts list, Daisy's travel journal, and I'm super excited about that. I hope they can see my vision. Maybe each one of them could make, so 2 things I thought. You know those books that you can make from cutting a piece of paper and folding, that you can I think it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages maybe. Those books, these tiny mini books, we could make one of those, like they're this big. So if we have a bigger paper, we could make a book that is this size. And each one could make a prompt, and then we have like these mini journals that Daisy there, Daisy here. Or I would give them, we could just say, okay, let me use this one again, which is not very helpful. So if we fold a piece of paper in half, and each one creates, like, this is the fold, so it would be like this, and then this is the page about whatever. Prompt number 2 says maybe Daisy in San Francisco and crossing the Golden Gate Bridge, for instance. So they could make an entry in their diary about this, or Daisy would make an entry in her diary about this. And there's so much freedom. He provides a printable where you can even cut out Daisy's body shape, so you don't really have to be able to draw that well. You could collage, you could print out pictures from other people, you could make like a photo album, you could put diary entries, you could collage, you could draw everything yourself. So I feel like this would provide the kids with a multitude of options that they could do, and I'm really excited. The only thing that I feel like what I need to do is make a sample piece. And that's why we haven't started this week, because I'm still right here in this library. I have been, I don't know if you notice, but I do. So there's darker and lighter things. So I'm like, okay, this one is probably more of the darker. So what this one was, so if you have never done these, you totally should try. It's so much fun. I used when I started this, I used just regular grid paper. That works really well if you're someone who is very, like me, I really like the structure of this. But if you're not as structured and not as neat, or in this aspect not as neat, it totally works if you work on a white piece of paper. Before I'm going to end my video, I wanted to share what these Zentangle things reminded me of. I just remembered it this morning, and I showed the kids, teenagers, middle schoolers, because I don't know why, but I don't know if you're familiar with this artist, Vasily Kandinsky. He is a part of the Blaue Reiter. He was an abstract artist. Well, actually he wasn't in the beginning. Here you can clearly see that there is a connection between the not so abstract drawing of a city and the colors and shapes that are in his later art. So I feel like I see something in here that is here as well. So yeah, so I just want children and teenagers to understand that you do not have to be a realistic artist in order to call yourself an artist. So it was really cool to show him or his art here, because he is and has been one of my favorite artists for a very long time. Very inspiring to me. I don't know if this kind of art, it's interesting because, yeah, what is the interpretation of this? What is the meaning of this? Does art always have to have a meaning? that's where this comes back into play. What is the meaning of this? What does it say? It doesn't really say anything. The only thing that I find when I worked on this, I haven't really done this in depth, or this is not a hobby of mine, doing these Zentangles, but it is very calming. You sit there, you do the exact same thing, and you see things grow. Like this one, for instance, it looks so different if you fill in the shading differently. It looks, it is a small piece like this that doesn't look like anything, and when you put multiples of it together, it becomes this really big pattern that looks impressive. And it's just mind-boggling to me that you can, with just some pencil strokes, you can create something that looks like art and feels like art. So yeah, and it is very, very calming. A very helps me to center myself and just forget and relax. So yeah, why isn't art then that is displayed in museums not allowed to do the same thing to the viewer? Even if it doesn't mean anything, you can find so many details and things in here the longer you look at it. And also, why isn't art, or why, well, it is, but in many people's eyes, and in probably in my eye as well, because otherwise I wouldn't talk about it, why art is valid as long as when you create art, you feel it. Isn't that just... I wonder how long he took for this one. I don't know if you can see it closely, but this is a gazillion of circles. Big ones, small ones, and it's just impressive. I feel like this could be some kind of cell, and these are... This looks like a bird or one of those things that you play like this. So yeah, I just wanted to share what I have been doing with the kids. It's definitely way out of my comfort zone, to be for sure, but I'm really trying, and I'm putting myself out there every Wednesday. So what I was going to show you actually is that I went ahead and made a journaling spread with the Zentangle that I made as an example for the kids when we did the club fair. And I also added one of the calendar papers that I showed that I had earlier, and cut it out and put it in here. And then I used my fountain pen with black ink to journal. However, I then had the idea that this needed a border, and I went right on top of this. And the black ink is the only ink that takes a gazillion 8 years to dry, and I smeared it everywhere, which is just the worst. So I'm like, yeah. Lucky for the spread, it's in a book, and I can't rip the pages out because it's a dated book. But I wish I had the ability to do this. Let's go over here one more time. Okay. Goodbye. So if you are wondering where the noise is coming from, this is what they are doing. Or is it just one or two? Let's go closer. I think that's just... So this is Jelly, and my kittens do not really like, well, some of them do not really like cat toys, but they love paper bags and hair ties. So if if I give that to them, they're happy. So we went to the library earlier today and got some books, and we got them in these brown bags, so they're always used for cat toys, and he just loves this. And yeah, I'm gonna slowly move the camera over here because there's someone waiting right here with another paper bag. So thank you so much for coming today and listening to my art pep talk. Let me check what I want to say at the end of my videos. I know it still sounds very manufactured, but I hope when I'm practicing repeating this statement, which I really truly mean, which is the essence why I'm actually sharing all of my videos, that it will become familiar and more, I know it by heart, and then it will feel natural. Don't forget to take some time today to fill your soul. Thanks for spending time with me, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.